Hey, I'm texting my mother to start praying because I am starting my interview with Michaelle Jean. So
Ask her to
start
pray for me
praying.
too.
Yes, and Michaelle asks you to pray for her too. Okay, so that's sent. So this is going to be amazing. It's already amazing. Thank you so much, Michaelle Jean, for being here. Like, and there.
You know what, Misha? I feel blessed. I feel blessed to spend this time with you. And as I look at the beautiful landscape in the back, the weather seems fabulous in Nova Scotia.
You know what? Thank you, COVID, for giving me the space to be, really enjoying this kind of, I don't know, it's a real pleasure because, God's creation is just to me so wondrous. And I'm here like in, Nova Scotia. You're there in Ottawa, also a
Mm.
beautiful place, and we are very blessed. You're right. You're right. And
Yeah.
yet there is much sadness, which is not unacknowledged.
Mm. I like it because I can hear you so often, thanking God. You are a woman of faith, and I
That's
think it's
true.
something that gives you a lot of strength because you've had your share of challenges, struggles, but there's this thing in you, with you, that always brings you back to life with so much
Well,
energy. I admire
no.
that so much in you, Misha. It's
But can
unbelievable.
we, and coming from you, don't make me list the things, Michael. Don't make me listen. I got all the acronyms behind the names and I looked them up. Like there are real commendations here. Now, I wonder how you feel. Which one's your favorite? Now, come on. You know, I want the dirt.
Yeah, I would say, you know, becoming Governor General of Canada, it came with another very important responsibility, which is Commander in Chief. And why I'm saying that, to be Commander in Chief of the Canadian Forces meant something so improbable in my life. I come from a history where the military uniform represented repression.
In
When I grew
Haiti.
up in Haiti under that dictatorial, regime, the militaries, their uniform, for us all, it meant death, danger. Um, and for me to be given this responsibility in my life,
Wow.
to actually don the uniform at one point, and to be respected by militaries who became something like my family also, because
Mm.
as I carried out that responsibility, we were deployed in Afghanistan, if you remember, and I had to accompany, I mean, women and men in uniform who were responding to the call of duty, and taking incredible risks to the ultimate sacrifice. And I had to preside over, oh my God, more than 100 repatriation of our militaries who
Mm.
had died, in Afghanistan, and accompany their families. And from that experience, I've learned so much, because to the opposite of what I had experienced in Haiti. I mean, we were talking about men and women who had like a you know a sense of values. They were serving, and with the belief of serving for the right reason. I saw other forces on the ground in Afghanistan, and the Canadians were different in one way. They would take all risks to actually engage with the communities, the Afghan communities. They would come out of, the base and drive to these communities, do the work that humanitarians could not do because it was too risky. And it was so gratifying for them. And
Yeah.
each time they would go back and do it again and again. And so many of them died that way because it was so obvious. I mean, the Taliban could follow, the drill and where they were going. And that's how their lives were exposed. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to say that to you, but that question you asked is very important because it's become, an important part of that journey as Governor General.
Yeah. And how does it inform your work now? Because let's not forget, you were the first on many fronts to experience, whether it's diplomacy or diplomacy as activism, or really to kind of create a life that allows you access to all of these beautiful corners, and also using the arts to do it.
Yeah.
Using your multifaceted history. Go on. Yeah.
I saw the world. I saw the best and the worst. I saw the beauty and I saw the horror. The world is a bizarre place. I mean, you have people who are giving so much of themselves, who are thriving, who are imaginative, who are creative. And no matter what, challenges, they're always, coming back with energy to tackle, these difficulties. And they do that with so much courage, including a lot of young people. And at the same time, you have forces who are evil. You have people who are so selfish, where the only thing that counts for them is me, myself, my family, my clan, and nothing else. I saw that. I saw how difficult life can be in so many places. And diplomacy was about making sure that I could actually share a message, have a conversation that is very rational about responsibility, accountability. Sometimes, engage with some leaders and having this difficult conversations where I had to speak about rights, freedoms, respect, peace, responsibility really to make sure that people would be living in better conditions and
as you list those
and
things,
right or wrong. Yeah.
as you list the responsibilities of peace and justice, and just fundamental things, it transcends race in a way. Like, I feel like diplomacy is this area where you are literally building a bridge between the divide, right?
Yes.
So how is that as everything that is your perspective, whether it's being Haitian, whether it's being,
I think
all
it
that
was
defines
about bringing the human dimension in every conversation and in every circumstance. And it's something that I've had in me. I would say even as a young child, because I was raised this way. I was raised with the principle that indifference could never be an option.
Mm-mm.
Responsibility to act and to care and to do the best that you could was always at the forefront. I don't remember myself as a child being in a bubble of innocence. Never. I could see other children around me being in that bubble of innocence, but I could never be in that, I would say, relation to life, because my parents would say to me, even if it's difficult, even if it hurts, even if it's unbearable, you have to understand what is happening around you. You have to care. You have also
Mm.
to have ideas about what's happening, because you can make a difference. You cannot be indifferent. You have to understand. So you, I don't know. Even the in my memories, even as when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old,
Yeah.
I don't remember myself being in a bubble of innocence, you know, ignoring everything around me. I always had to think, to understand, to take a stand. it's it's very heavy on a child's shoulder, but that's how I was raised, and it made me the person I
And
am, actually.
and what kind of a journalist were you?
I I think I was a journalist and a citizen, because I never dreamt of becoming a journalist. I actually I started with the National Film Board of Canada uh, on a documentary film, and we actually had to go to Haiti on the first free election, democratic election, after 30 years of dictatorship. And
Wow.
I was asked for the director, Tahani Rached, who is a Canadian of Egyptian origin, to accompany her on that, for the on that production, because
And for
I
your
could speak.
perspective. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and from my perspective, exactly. And I connected to the joy of the people feeling free. No more censorship. There was this desire for something different, for and for a new way of defining society and more justice. And and then I saw it collapse, because again the militaries blocked it. They didn't want this to happen, and the violence happened and occurred, and it was like a massacre. But I saw the courage, and that's how CBC came to me, Radio Canada, the French network, when I
Mm-hmm.
returned to Canada after that experience. And actually, our team was attacked. Uh,
Mm.
they they tried, to kill us. Actually, we were attacked by, a group of militaries shooting at us, rockets, and it was, I don't know how, I can be alive today, but it was
Mm.
really thanks to the population, the people who really freed us, that we made it, because people would come out and in the village where we were, and throw stones at them, until they they left us. And
Really?
yes, yes. And it was an incredible, night of so much horror, but at the same time courage from that population helping us. And
Yes.
so when I returned to Canada, and we had to edit, the film, and on that press conference that we
Can I
gave.
ask just
uh,
quickly? Can I ask you
yes.
quickly? Est-ce que tu as fait le reportage tout le temps? que tu étais là?
Oui.
Alors,
Yes. I did.
bonjour, nous sommes ici. Et c'est comme, ah là là
No,
là, et
no.
comme,
No. It was a film. It's a documentary film, so it's very different from television. But that's how actually CBC Radio Canada came to me, because they noticed by just the way I reported on the experience, during the press conference. They came to me and they asked me. Days later, they said, "We would be interested, if you accepted to come and work with us." And you know what crossed my mind? Why should I do that? No Black person in that newsroom.
can we
So
just take a
again, I
minute?
responded
No,
as an
wait.
activist.
We have to take a minute because people are going to want to applaud that. That is just